If I had to start over in business and start everything from scratch, the first hire that I would make is an executive or admin assistant. So I took this and learned this from Dan Martel's recent book, which I know I've talked about before, which is Buy Back Your Time. And I've heard him on different podcast interviews. I've consumed a lot of his content, obviously read his book end to end, and learned that in order to truly delegate and get stuff off of your plate in the beginning, when you don't have a ton of funds, but you have the ability to outsource or delegate some stuff, you need to do it as soon as you possibly can. And by doing so, that allows you to bring on someone like an executive assistant or an admin assistant, whether it be locally or a virtual assistant. But I made this mistake in multiple businesses over the last couple of years, waiting far too long to hire somebody and delegate some tasks because I thought I needed to bring like an A player and an executive onto my team first. I did this in the marketing agency. I did this in an auto glass company. I've done all of those things. And while it ended up working out, I learned along the way that I was a bottleneck in the business and businesses for far too long because I was waiting for the perfect time. I was waiting for the perfect person to come along to be able to run those companies and to take off tasks when I didn't realize there were so many things, whether it's calendar, whether it's managing my email and my inbox and communication and scheduling, or sending out invoices, following up on payments, those types of things that take up so much of my time and energy in business that I could have been letting go of that far earlier in my career, far earlier in the business, as far as the time that it was taking up on my end and the energy, right? So a lot of these things, somebody else would be so much better at doing, and you can outsource these things and hire people to do them for a very relatively low dollar amount. Even if you're hiring somebody locally, somebody that's potentially a stay-at-home parent, or somebody right out of college, somebody that's in college, somebody that's retired. There's a variety of different people, as well as virtual assistants, which are continuing to take off. And so I always thought, no, I need to have somebody that knows everything that I know, and they need to be better at all of these things than me. And that's absolutely the wrong way to look at it. And so Dan Martel talks about making sure that that first person that you hire is really somebody to just take off a ton of your stuff off of your plate so you can focus on revenue generating activities. And so I had this mindset wrong the entire time. And so if I was going to start something brand new, and right now I'm starting this personal branding mastermind and course, which I'm excited to launch, and I'll be talking about here in future videos. But that first person I'm going to hire in that company is an executive assistant or an admin assistant to be able to take some of those remedial, low-level, low dollar amount tasks off of my plate that in the past I've done for far too long, thinking that I had to do them until I could hire a COO or hire a salesperson or all of those things. No, these things can be done and done effectively at a much better level while buying your time back in order to focus on what matters most, which is growing the business and generating revenue. So if I were to start everything over, start from scratch, build it from the ground zero, that first person I'm hiring is going to be an executive assistant. If you haven't checked out Dan Martel's book, he talks about this and much more in his new book, Buy Back Your Time. Definitely check it out. If you got information from this, if you got value, feel free to leave those comments, your insights, feedback in the comment section below. And as always, if you like this content, we would love the opportunity to make sure that you hit the subscribe button. So that way we can get this content out to more people just like you. So that way we can impact their life, both in their business and personally. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.